Hello, my name is Nicoline and I have to analyze the short story Manhood. As it just said, the title of the short story is Manhood and the author is John Wayne. We can see that it's a short story because it's only have one plot, a few people, it starts in medias res, and there is an open ending. Manhood is a short story about a boy called Rob and his parents. His father's name is Mr. Wilson and his mother's name is Mrs. Wilson. Rob and his dad is out and bicycling because Mr. Wilson really wants Rob to have a childhood filled with sports and fun. Rob doesn't see the fun in cycling, and he doesn't see the fun in sport as his dad does. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson discuss about how to take care of Rob. Mr. Wilson wants to give Rob the childhood he never got, but Rob don't see a good childhood at the same way as Mr. Wilson see it. Mr. Wilson keeps trying, and one day Rob is lying to Mr. Wilson. Rob says that he got on the boxer team, and Mr. Wilson is really glad to hear that. Rob is a calm boy who likes to chill out. He wants to make his dad proud, and that's why he's lying to him. Mr. Wilson is a dad who wants the best for Rob. He had a boring childhood, and he don't want Rob to have that too. So he makes Rob have a good and exciting childhood, but that's not what Rob wants. The language in this short story is English on an easy medium plane, and there are a lot of dialogue between the few people there is in this short story. We can see there is dialogue on page 1, line 4 to 9, and I can read it for you. "Now, Rob," said Mr. Wilson, setting his plump haunches firmly on the saddle. "Just up the rise and we'll get off and have a good rest." "Can't we rest now?" the boy asked. "My legs feel all funny, as if they're turning to water." So there is a dialogue between Mr. Wilson and Rob. It's a third person telling the story, so we see the story from Rob's view as much as we see it from Mr. Wilson's view. We can see that it's a third person telling the story on page 1, line 1 to 3. And I can read that too. "Swiftly freewheeling their breath, coming easily, the man and the boy steered their bicycles down the short dip which led them from woodland into open country." So we can see it's a third person because there is Mr. Wilson is called the man and Rob is called the boy. Yes, as I said before, there is only one plot, and that's why it's a short story. The short story is chronological in the manner because we have a problematic between Mr. Wilson and Rob. The problem between Mr. Wilson and Rob has to be described in a situation, and we need that situation chronological because we have to get it from the beginning so we understand the problematic between Mr. Wilson and Rob. The problematic between Mr. Wilson and Rob is that Mr. Wilson wants to give Rob what he never got in his childhood. The theme in this short story is growing up, childhood, difference, family problem, and relationship between dad and son. It's growing up and childhood because we have a short story about a dad who doesn't want his son to grow up in the same way as him. And he don't want his son to get the same childhood as he got. Difference and relationship between dad and son, because Mr. Wilson and Rob defines a good childhood in two different ways. Rob defines a good childhood by being calm and chill out and watch TV and stuff like that, and Mr. Wilson defines a good childhood by doing a lot of sports and fun and be with your friends, and yes. And the theme is also family problems, because Rob and Mr. Wilson is nagging to each other because of the problem between them. The message in this story is that a dad have a lot of expectation to his child, and all dads have that. But it don't help to lie to them to make them proud, but you should make them proud of having a child who is brave enough to show who the real you is. So Rob does the bad thing. He lied to Mr. Wilson to make him proud, but Rob should make Mr. Wilson proud by being himself. And that's why we can perspective it to Clara's day, because they both have the same message. They are both about that you have to realize that you have to make your own parents proud of you by being yourself. Clara is taking all of her clothes off because she wants to be like her mom, and Rob is lying to his dad because he wants to be like her dad. His dad wants him to be. So yeah, that was all. Thank you.